45 minutes. That is how long it took for Save the Kids to spike 400% and collapse to nothing. Fans, most of them teenagers, watched their money evaporate in real time, bought in by polished videos promising this crypto would fund children's charities. Not a single dollar ever reached one. Those videos came from FaZe clan members with 19 million subscribers and the absolute trust of an entire generation. This is the story of how that trust was weaponized and how it destroyed everything FaZe had built. FaZe clan began as a handful of teenagers uploading Call of Duty sniper montages to YouTube in 2010. The early videos were raw, just friends showing off clutch kills and inside jokes, but they hit a nerve. By the end of their first year, FaZe had built a following that saw them as more than just gamers. The clan's signature was attitude, masks, fast cuts, and an energy that made every upload feel like an invite to an exclusive club. As the years went on, FaZe outgrew the Call of Duty scene. Members like FaZe Banks and FaZe Temper shifted the group's focus from pure gameplay to lifestyle content. Vlogs, day in the life videos, and challenge series replaced the old montages. Fans tuned in to see luxury cars, rented mansions, and late-night antics. The creators became personalities, relatable, funny, and always accessible through comments and live streams. By 2018, FaZe had locked in partnerships with brands like Champion, putting their logo on streetwear racks in real stores. The group's roster ballooned, adding not just gamers, but musicians, vloggers, and even fashion designers. Management brought in names like Jordan Galen to run talent operations, and the business side kept pace with the hype. In 2020, a $30 million investment round from Riot Games, venture arm, and Warner Music Group funded new studios and a full-scale merch operation. FaZe's reach exploded across platforms. On YouTube, they crossed 19 million subscribers by June 2021. Instagram and TikTok each brought in millions more, with TikTok alone adding over 3.7 million followers in just 2 years. The numbers were not just big, they were young. Over 70% of FaZe's audience fell between 15 and 24 years old. YouTube analytics showed that vlogs and personality-driven videos kept teenagers watching longer than gameplay ever did. The secret was trust. Fans saw FaZe members as older siblings or best friends. Streams and vlogs showed creators talking about school stress, mental health, and family. Live Q&A sessions and Discord chats let fans ask anything. When controversy hit, FaZe responded with apologies, charity streams, and collaborations that signaled they were listening. The result was a brand that felt authentic and a community that believed in its leaders. For a generation raised on social media, FaZe was more than a team, it was a lifestyle blueprint. Their word carried weight, and when they said something was worth supporting, millions of young fans listened. That trust would become the foundation for everything that followed. The pitch for Save the Kids was a masterclass in influence marketing. Every detail was engineered to convert trust into action. The official landing page, SaveTheKids.io, greeted visitors with a bright logo and a simple promise: change lives. Buy now. A single click led straight to the pancake swap purchase screen, bypassing any technical hurdles that might slow down a teenage buyer. The copy was clear and urgent. 1% to charity. Every trade helps a child. #SaveTheKids appeared across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all pointing back to the same site. The campaign rolled out with clockwork precision. Influencers posted nearly identical clips and captions, each echoing the same call to action. FaZe K told his followers that Kids Token was a charity token that would help kids worldwide, and urged them to get theirs now. FaZe Jarvis tweeted that he had just grabbed Kids. 1% goes to charity. https://savethekids.io. On TikTok, Nikon's video promised donate while you trade. Kids Token is live on PancakeSwap. Even Rice Gum and Summer Rae joined in, calling themselves ambassadors and urging fans to act fast. The language was always upbeat, always focused on the idea that buying this token was a way to do good while joining an exclusive movement. Swipe up links and bio URLs flooded Instagram stories and Twitter profiles. The messaging never wavered. Buy now, help a child, do not miss out. Short form clips use bright overlays and countdown timers, creating a sense of scarcity and excitement. The campaign's Polish was unmistakable. Graphics, coordinated hashtags, and influenced cross promotion made it feel like a real charity launch, not a speculative gamble. Every channel funneled fans to the same transaction: click the link, buy the token, and become part of a cause. The mechanics were frictionless by design. For FaZe's young, loyal audience, the line between supporting a favorite creator and making a financial investment blurred instantly. The promise of charity made it all feel safe, even virtuous. No one asked where the money was actually going. The trust built over years of vlogs and live streams was now being cashed in, one swipe at a time. At exactly 1 p.m. UTC on June 5th, 2021, the Save the Kids token contract went live on the Binance Smart Chain. 10 million kids tokens paired with just 5 BNB, barely more than $1,600, seeded the PancakeSwap liquidity pool. The opening price landed at $0.016 per token. But the real fuel was the wave of influencer hype already in motion. Within minutes, buy orders flooded in from wallets linked to FaZe fans and crypto speculators alike. The price chart shot upward to $0.045 by 1:20 p.m. UTC, then to $0.083 at its peak, just 45 minutes after launch, a five-fold jump. Trading volume spiked as Telegram groups and Discord servers buzzed with screenshots of profits and calls to hold for charity. BSC scan data later showed the initial liquidity had been structured so that the project creators, using wallets, later traced to FaZe K and others, controlled the entire kids supply and could move the paired BNB at will. The smart contract had just been verified, but there was no lock on the liquidity. Early buyers, many of them teenagers, acting on influence instructions, were buying into a pool that could be drained at any moment. The euphoria of the first hour masked the reality beneath the surface. Insiders held all the cards. As the price soared, the wallets tied to FaZe members and their associates began shifting tokens out of the pool. The mechanics were simple, but the effect was devastating. For a brief window, Save the Kids looked like a rocket, unstoppable, charitable, and exclusive. The numbers on the screen told a different story for those who knew where to look. The price drop hit with the force of a trapdoor. Within hours of the Save the Kids launch, Discord servers and Telegram chats filled with panic. Screenshots flew across Twitter. Balances that had shown 3 or 4 digits now sat at single dollars. Some fans posted transaction receipts, desperate for hope as the token slid from 2 cents to fractions of a penny. The chat logs document the confusion, teenagers asking if this was a glitch, others begging for advice on how to reverse a trade. In one viral TikTok, a 15-year-old clutches a bank statement showing a failed $1,400 chargeback. The caption reads, "My allowance is gone. No refund." Reddit threads lit up with stories of lost savings and broken trust. A user named CryptoKidLosses posted a screenshot of a $500 buy-in, now worth less than a cup of coffee. Some tried to reach out to FaZe members directly, sending DMs and tagging them in public posts. Replies, when they came, offered little comfort, just generic apologies or silence. For many, the hardest blow was not just the money. It was realizing the people they had looked up to had steered them into a dead end. Attempts to claw back funds led nowhere. Banks and card companies rejected most chargeback requests, citing the irreversible nature of crypto transactions. The sense of betrayal deepened as the hours dragged on, and the price chart flatlined below a penny. In the space of a single afternoon, trust built over years evaporated. The calls for answers grew louder, and the community's grief and anger became impossible to ignore. Blockchain analysis pulled back the curtain on what happened to Save the Kids within its first hour. CoffeeZilla, a YouTube investigator known for dissecting crypto scams, mapped the Binance Smart Chain transactions in real time. His research traced the flow of kids' tokens from the wallets used to promote the coin directly to sell addresses, breaking down the myth that this was just a failed project or victim of bad luck. The evidence pointed to a handful of wallets publicly linked to FaZe and Jarvis through their own posts and Discord giveaways. As the tokens soared in price, these wallets began unloading massive amounts of kids. Within 60 minutes of launch, over 55% of the token supply had been dumped to a known aggregator address, one flagged as a sell bot by blockchain analytics firms. The timing was precise. As fans and followers bought in, the insiders cashed out, draining the liquidity pool and triggering the crash. Transaction logs show the first major dump came from K's wallet, moving 3 million tokens to the sellbot address just minutes after the peak. Jarvis followed, sending over 2 million more. Each transfer lined up almost exactly with the sharpest price drops on the public chart. The pattern was not accidental or random. It was a coordinated exit, executed while the promotional tweets and videos were still circulating. The digital trail left no room for plausible deniability. Every movement, every sale, every wallet was visible on chain, time-stamped and irreversible. For the first time, the connection between influencer hype and insider profit was mapped in public, transforming suspicion into hard evidence. The story was no longer about a failed charity coin. It was about accountability and the power of blockchain to reveal the truth. The Save the Kids contract, hyped as a force for good, hid a silent backdoor. Minutes before launch, a single code edit changed everything. The anti-whale mechanism, supposed to prevent big holders from dumping, was quietly disabled. This tweak was not an accident. Blockchain investigators traced the command to the project's owners, and developer chat logs later surfaced, showing Sam Pepper instructing the coder, Lucas, to remove the safeguard. The result? Insiders could sell as much as they wanted, as fast as they wanted, while fans believed the system was built to protect them. CoffeeZilla's deep dive into the source code revealed another layer, a whitelist function that was owner-only, and that let privileged wallets bypass restrictions entirely. The contract was engineered so that a select few could drain value before anyone else could react. The same wallets tied to FaZe and Jarvis moved millions of tokens to sell addresses within the first hour, lining up perfectly with the sharpest drops on the public price chart. The anti-whale edit made these dumps possible, and the code's author, according to multiple investigative accounts, took orders from Sam Pepper, a figure already known for YouTube controversy, and now central to the mechanics of this collapse. But the most damning evidence came from the blockchain itself. Not a single transaction ever reached a charity wallet. The promise of donations was written into the marketing, not the code. Binance Charity. The supposed recipient later confirmed they never received a cent. Every traceable dollar stayed within the promoter's circle. The Save the Kids token was never a charity project. It was a script, engineered for profit, performed at the expense of the same young fans who thought they were making a difference. FaZe Clan's response unfolded in public, but the gap between words and real accountability was impossible to ignore. On July 2nd, 2021, the organization announced it had fired FaZe and suspended Jarvis, Nikan, and Tico. The official statement distanced FaZe from the Save the Kids token, insisting the group had absolutely no involvement in its creation. Yet the damage was already done. The firings and suspensions played out across gaming news, Twitter, and YouTube. But for the fans who lost money, these moves offered little comfort. Tico was later reinstated after an internal review showed he had not sold his tokens, but the others remained out. K, at the center of the scandal, issued a string of public apologies. He claimed he was a victim too, saying he had lost $37,000, then later revising the number to $500,000. He promised to reimburse fans, asking them to submit claims through a dedicated email. On social media, K's post shifted from explanations to legal threats. He sent a cease and desist letter to CoffeeZilla, the investigator whose blockchain analysis had mapped out the wallet activity and exposed the insider sales. CoffeeZilla dismissed the letter as meaningless, and his videos kept gaining millions of views. Rumors of a reimbursement pool of $2 million spread through Discord and Reddit. But there was never any transparent accounting. No official FaZe clan statement confirmed the existence of such a fund, and no corporate filings ever listed it. A handful of fans reported partial refunds from K, but most victims never saw a cent. Meanwhile, Sam Pepper, the figure linked to the anti-whale code change, vanished from social media. No criminal charges were filed. The organization's brand, built on trust and teenage aspiration, now faced a crisis it could not meme away. For every apology or promise, thousands of young fans were left with nothing but empty wallets and unanswered questions. While the Save the Kids collapse has shattered trust in FaZe Clan, its aftermath revealed a much larger problem, one that reached far beyond a single group or token. Despite millions of dollars lost and thousands of teenage victims, no criminal charges were ever filed. The law was not built to handle influencer-led crypto promotions targeting young fans. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, often the first line of defense against financial fraud, did not bring an indictment against any FaZe member or developer. Not a single organizer faced prosecution. For regulators, the Save the Kids scandal landed in a gray zone. The token was marketed as charity, but technically sold as a utility coin, a loophole that let promoters sidestep clear securities rules. Policy experts and legal analysts began raising alarms about the gaping holes in oversight. Social media platforms had no real safeguards to stop creators from pitching speculative investments to children. The Federal Trade Commission guidelines on influencer disclosures did not address the risks of crypto, and most exchanges required little more than a username and an email to buy in. Even as stories of lost allowance and wiped out savings flooded Reddit and TikTok, there was no clear path for victims to recover their money or hold anyone accountable. Industry watchdogs called for new rules, including age verification for crypto transactions, mandatory disclosures for influencer promotions, and stricter penalties for deceptive marketing. Some pointed to the Securities and Exchange Commission's later investigations into other influencer coins as a sign of slow progress. But for the Save the Kids victims, the damage was done in a regulatory vacuum. The scandal exposed a system where the youngest, least protected investors were left on their own, facing risks their heroes never warned them about. Who will step in to protect the next wave of fans? Today, no one faces criminal charges, and most fans never saw a cent restored. Influencers still shape markets with a tweet, while teens remain their most loyal and vulnerable investors. The blockchain keeps a permanent record, but trust, once broken, rarely returns. In an unregulated world, accountability is not a given. It is a choice. What happens next depends on who is finally willing to take responsibility. Let me know your thoughts below.